Hi, my name is George, program assistant on the GATS program for 2022. Um, Part of my series. This is part of my series of quick lab sessions in as part of the curriculum for Essential Cloud Infrastructure Foundation. This will actually teach you rudimentary concepts for the cloud so that you can build on that when you go into the deep dive. Okay, today's lab will be looking at creating virtual machines. So like usual, let me open this in a new private window. Okay, so I will still need to log in. I'll stop the video and of course get my password across. Okay, so I'm back. So of course we'll look at the objectives. We're creating a utility virtual machine. That's a machine that will be used for carrying out certain tasks. We create a Windows virtual machine, create a custom virtual machine, review our lab, and then end our lab. This walkthrough should be just about an hour. Of course, if you are trying to understand the concepts, you will take a bit more than, let's say, 45 minutes to get it done. Okay, the lab is 15 minutes. Of course, you can always click here to check your progress. Okay, so let me quickly start the lab. Remember, if you do this lab more than once and you have issues with quarter errors, you just click on this chat support and tell them you're part of the GATS program and coming from Pluralsight, and ought to have access. You won't have infinite access, but at least by the second or third attempt, you should have been able to complete the labs. Okay, so while that is spinning up, let's look through what we're supposed to be doing. Of course, your credentials can be found in this box to the left. The first task there is to be creating a utility VM. We'll be using the N1 series machine, and we will be using okay, so the first thing we'll do will be looking at the different cost changes that occur. Google makes it, GCP platform makes it possible to view estimated cost of resources as you provision them. We will see that in action just a moment. Okay, so we're supposed to create a VM. Type a name for your instance, then select the region of US Central 1, and the zone is US Central 1C, and then pick this particular machine. Then we'll look through the cost estimate. Okay, so let's create an instance or act like we want to do. So these estimates will be shown to you. I'm going to leave the name instance 1 or utility 1. Okay, let me just use the name utility. Okay, pick the zone. Make sure you always pick the configuration that is given to you. That way the grading system will be able to pick up your progress properly. Okay, so let's see the estimated cost to the right. So it will cost us about $25 a month. Okay, so we change the machine type. This is 4 CPUs. Let's increase it to 4 CPUs. This is 1 CPU. Let's increase it to 4 CPUs. 4 CPU. That's it. Let's see the increased cost. Okay, this will cost about $98 a month. That's a lot. Then let's change the boot disk. we should have a default of there be an 11. Okay, so we've been asked to take it up to 4 CPUs and 15 gigabyte memory. Let's change the boot disk. Click on this. The default is 11, but we will use 10 as instructed. So click on network and drop down and remove the external IP, and then you're done, and then leave every other thing and create it properly. So we select this one. Let's go to network. Let's go here, go down to external IP. Where is that? Things have changed a lot, so it's kind of different. Okay, so this one here, go down, internal, then we remove this one. Okay, click done, and then we go down and click create. Okay, so on the VM instance page, click on the name of your VM, locate CPU platform, note the value, and click edit. Okay, so let me close this one. Okay, so let me close this. Click on the name of the VM and then click on edit. Okay, so we'll click on edit and then we locate CPU. Okay, sorry, we should have looked at the CPU before clicking on the edit. So let's go down to the CPU value. Should be here. Okay, let's see that. Locate the CPU platform. Platform is Intel Housewell. Then we'll click on edit. Click on edit. Okay, come over here. Okay, so notice that you can't change the machine type, the CPU type. Okay, so or the zone. You can add network tags, allow specific network traffic from the internet through firewalls. Some properties of a VM are integral to the VM, are established when the VM is created. So you see, before this, as we click edit, you see there are things that you can't change. You can't change the zone. You can't change some other things. Basically, anything that is editable, when you click on the edit option, means it can be changed while the VM is running. So let's look at the availability policies. Okay, so let's go down and see where is that located. Availability policy says standard. Okay, so we could choose preemptible or stick with standard. Okay, so note you can't convert a non-preemptible instance to a preemptible. Okay, so that should have been done while you were setting up the VM. So let's explore the VM logs, VM instance details, and then we'll click on the cloud login. Okay, so let's click out to close the edit session. Then let's still click back. Oh, that's log. I saw the log there. I missed that. Okay, so let's click back in there. Okay, so it says let's click on that. Opens up the logs. Okay, notice that you now have navigated to cloud login page. This is a structured log view. At the top, you can filter by using the pull down menus, and there is a search box for searching based on labels or text. Click the small triangle to the left of the lines to see the kind of information it contains. Okay, so let's click on this. Let me close this. This just walks you through the different parts of this particular page. Instagram. I don't know where that came from. Let's close this one. Okay, so it says we should click on the small triangle to the left of the lines to see the kind of information it contains. Okay, so we have a triangle here. Let's click on that, and of course it has the inserts ID, the log name, cloud audit logs.googleapis.com. The operation, the proto payload, the resources, the timestamp. Okay. Now let's check our progress. Okay, that went through. Now create a virtual Windows virtual machine. So we're going to create a Windows virtual machine in this. Type a name for your virtual machine. Place it in the Europe West 1 region, and then place it in this zone. The series is N1. Boot this type, change that to Windows Server, and then pick this particular version. Okay, so let's start there. Let me go back to the instances here. It's quicker where you want to search for a resource. So let's create an instance. All right, so let's do Windows. Is Europe West 1, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is Europe West 1. Let's see what that is. Europe West 1 and in the C zone of that region. Okay, so we're picking N1 series, first generation, and this, and of course we need to change the boot disk to a window. So we will pick Windows Server. Let's check out the particular server we're picking. Windows Server 2016 Data Center Core. Windows Server 2016 Data Center Core. That is it. Okay. Then the boost disk should be SSD disk. Increase the size to 100 gigabytes. SSD. System disk, and then the size, change it to 100 and select that. Okay, so then the firewall enable this. What that does when you enable this in the firewall configuration is that it tags your VM and then creates a firewall rule that directs traffic, HTTP and HTTPS traffic to that instance. Remember that one of the ways in which you can control your traffic using firewall rules is to tag your resources and then use those tags to direct the firewall rule on what to do. Okay, so we're going to click on the name and then set the password. We'll set the password and then copy the password and then click close. So let's go here. Windows takes a bit to come up. So okay, so window is up, so click here and it says set the password. That's the username, okay, which is our project ID, I believe. Okay, no, it's the username given to us. So let's generate a password for our Windows, and then let me copy the password. Okay, so let me bring up my editor on my system and paste that in here first, so that in case I would need it later, definitely. Okay, so that's been set up. Then it asks us to check the state of the Windows machine. It's good. Create a custom virtual machine. Okay, in West, but in this zone. Machine type custom, and then 6 cores, 32 gig. Give it any name. So let me click this. Excuse me. Okay, so let me do custom. Drop it in Europe West 1. Okay, I think B is the zone in which, okay, B and 1 custom. So we come in here. Let's go back up here. We go up here, cost compute, general purpose. this gives you default machine types for this scenario. So let's look for where we set up the custom. Let me check that. Machine type custom. Okay, so that's true. We're not, series is N1, but the type is custom. So let's go back up here. Go back up, down, no, let's go up, custom, click on that. Now how many cores? 6 CPUs and 32 gig memory. 6 CPUs. 6 and 32. Okay, there's something I want us to look at. I want us to look at the command line equivalent. No, let's do command line equivalent. Okay, let's look at the custom configuration for the CPU. Machine type is this. You see how it's written? See how it's written? Okay, this is what you would normally do on your CLI. So you see the difference? This is what you will actually pass to the machine type. Okay, see how it is? 6 represents the CPU and this is the memory. Okay, an estimate at 32. Let me close this. Let me go back here and get rid of the custom. Let's take what was there before, which was I think this. Okay, let's look again at the command line equivalent for that command and see how it's different. Okay, you see that? See the difference? Okay, so take note of that. When you use the CLI, that's the format in which you will pass those arguments to your deployment. So that's set. Okay, so let's come down here and Debian, of course, change the boot disk from Debian 11 to Debian 10. Okay, select that and then click create. All right, well, we asked to set up, okay, so no HTTP access. All right, so let's SSH into the custom VM and then run these commands to see the memory and then look at the RAM and all that. These are standard Linux commands which you can run anywhere. Okay, so let's give it just a few seconds. It should be up and running in a few seconds. Okay, so it's up and running. Let's SSH into it. Okay. You could actually SSH into this instance from your local machine. All you need to do is use the credentials for this lab to log in to the GCP SDK. Using those credentials, then you should have access. Okay, let me bring this in a bit so that we see what we're doing. Okay, so the first command we're supposed to run is free, and free gives you a representation of the memory, RAM and all that. I could pass the H option and it puts that in a format that you might quickly relate to. Then the next one is to check the RAM arrangement. Okay. All right, so with that you can look through and see your RAM device. Okay. All right. Okay. So it shows you information about the hardware. Okay, so now we check to verify the number of processors. run and proc. So let's do that. Okay, so 6 as we had. Then list the CPUs. These are standard Linux commands. If you run on your system, you definitely. So okay, CPU family 6 model, model 32-bit, 2-bit, and all that, and the rest of them. And let's exit from here. All right, so exit. All right, so check our progress. We're done. All right, so that was basically a quick overview of creating virtual machines. Please, once you're done, close your lab. Don't leave it running. If you do, you might have issues when you come back next time. Leave a review if you want to. Please, when you watch, leave your likes and comments. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.